with the YouTube video. Okay, please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have Executive Vice President Arnie Katz here just to announce a few of our special guests that are here today.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. I'd like to welcome these folks to our January meeting and say thank you all for coming. Ed Saul from Commissioner Maria Sack's office, Victoria Green from the Palm Beach County Tax Collector's office, Colleen Reiner from the Palm Beach County Clerk's office, Major Chris Keene from Palm Beach Sheriff's office, Tisha Buttle from Congresswoman Lois Frankel's office. Thanks all for being here.
Okay, great, thank you. Thank you all for being here. We have some interesting announcements here. Thank you to South State Bank for hosting this today. The person is not here, but it's South State Bank that is sponsoring this breakfast today. And a few updates. First of all, everybody's heard about that beneficial ownership information report that everybody has to send in with the nonprofits, and there's a lawsuit about it, and there's a whole lot of issues about that in the whole United States. So that is actually on hold, so you don't really have to do it until further notice, and you'll really hear about it when it comes about. So you don't have to worry about that right now, collecting all the information from all your board members and sending it into the federal government. Okay, the other thing is, dues will be out soon, the dues collection. It's only $150 for the whole year, and look what you get, all these wonderful newsletters, wonderful meetings, a breakfast in June. So please let your association know that that will be coming in the mail. People have been asking me for the 4-hour updated course for continued education in condominiums and in homeowner associations. And we're going to be working on that with our attorney, and we'll be able to probably have a video up in the next month and a half, and we'll be able to do that, and then you'll be able to get that extra credit. So we're working on that hard, okay? One other thing is, this is the time of year when we call for elections for the Alliance. And really, if you've got some computer skills that we can really help, that could really help the Alliance, if you have some computer skills, if you'd like to write articles and help out York, who's the editor-in-chief of our newsletter, it would be really great. And you can contact me during this month, and you know my email and my phone number is always on the website and the emails. This year up for re-election is York Freund, Carol Klausner, myself, Arnie Katz, Judy Goldberg, Norma Arnold, and Susie Zuckerman. There's still room for one or two more on our board. There are other people are on our board, but they won't need to go up for election until next year. We have our updates from our wonderful first responders. Can we please have Lieutenant John Wink come up and give us an update?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good morning.
Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season and enjoying this cool weather. All right. I forgot my jacket. It's a little chilly, but Captain Sand couldn't be here this morning and wanted to send his regards. I got a couple of brief updates for you. We're really thrilled with the end of the year for 2024 results. Vehicle burglaries were down 48%. Stolen vehicles was 47%. Vandalism was down 25%. And traffic crashes were down 7%. Those are huge numbers. We contribute that to you guys bringing back the message back to your communities about locking your vehicles, removing the key fobs, especially firearms moving vehicles, and just driving safely, limiting your distractions while driving and giving yourself enough time. So thank you. And also to the deputies that are patrolling day and night. They really doing a great job of keeping us safe. Next, Costco on Congress Avenue. How many of you guys shop at Costco over there in Boca? Okay, good. Got the whole room here. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware. They just posted a no U-turn sign right there, Boca Club Boulevard and Congress Avenue, okay? There's no U-turn there. So you have to, as you leave Costco, you have to go northbound and go further up. You can't make a turn into the Boca, that lane's only reserved for Boca Golf and Tennis Club to turn into that community, okay? We're out there enforcing it, okay? We have a message board up there to educate the public that there's no U-turns, okay? I don't want you guys to get pulled over, and just want to make sure you guys are aware of it. So if you can bring that message back to your club, to your different communities, and I appreciate it. All right, next we had a huge presentation yesterday at Kings Point Community. It was, we had 176 people attend. It was very well received. We discussed traffic safety, crime trends, and fraud prevention. Okay, that Kings Point experienced in 2024, it was tailored towards them. It was very beneficial. If this is something that's interest of you to your community, please let me know. Or even crime prevention seminars, or Volunteers Against Scams teams. Those presentations I will gladly coordinate with you to get for your communities. They're free, they're no charge. Please, I learned so much information yesterday on the fraud portion about different tactics that scammers are using that I wasn't even aware of. So I know the VAST team does a great job keeping updated with information. So, the last thing I have for you is you guys are all aware Sheriff Bradshaw won the election. He's the longest serving sheriff in the county, 6th term. We appreciate your support and everything. We're having an inauguration family picnic. You guys are all invited. It's this Sunday at 11 at Royal Palm Beach at the Commons Park. I know Leslie's making arrangements if you can't get down there, if you need transportation. I believe Ed Saul told me today or tomorrow is the deadline. Please see her if you would like to get on the charter bus to the park. But we appreciate your support throughout the whole process. You guys have been great, and thank you for your time and your attention, and have a good day.
Great, thank you. And we have our Chief Bill Stansberry come right up here and give us a Palm Beach County Fire Rescue update.
Thank you. Hello. Good morning, everybody. So luckily last month at the meeting there was some raffle prizes. I was lucky enough to get drawn and I won the raffle for some gift cards in the area. So I've already used those. One was out to the Delray Marketplace, Tierra Fama, very good restaurant. I got one for there. I got one for Henry's and used those. So that was definitely, whoever selected those gift cards was good and I enjoyed them. For some fire rescue updates, last month, fire rescue, Palm Beach County is very large, so we're divided into 8 different districts. This district ran 3,200 calls. The next closest district ran about 2,200 calls. So this area runs about 1,000 more calls than the next busiest in Palm Beach County. So we're very busy here. We're ready for you and we're always expanding. Last year, currently out on the Atlantic or Flavor Pickton Lions, we're building Station 49. We have a trailer there running calls. The new station's coming along pretty good. Next week, we're doing a groundbreaking on Lake Worth Road in Lyons. That station will be, I think, the 51st or 52nd station for Palm Beach County. That won't directly affect this area, but if there's units out there that run those calls, then we can keep the units in this area to run calls for you all. So the trickle-down effect will just have more units available and they'll be able to get to you guys quickly. I think I heard you're talking about pickleball. One of the important things about pickleball, which I've seen being in the area, is there's been at least 3 cardiac arrests during pickleball that I know of over the course of the last year and a half. So when you're going to a pickleball court, it's always good to give a glance and find out where the AED is. Because there's been, the 3 people who have gone into cardiac arrest were all in the Valencias, and they've all been shocked by neighbors or doctors or nurses retired, and they've all been CPR and shocked before we got there, and they were already on their way back to life, and they've all made successful recoveries. So just know the surroundings and know where all the first aid equipment is. Stay hydrated, and if you don't feel well, don't play pickleball because bad things can happen, I guess. So that's it for this month's update. I'll see you all next month.
Thank you for that. Wow. Exciting news there. Just one thing before we have our wonderful keynote speaker here, Joshua Gersten. We've been in the news this past couple of weeks. Have people noticed in the Palm Beach Post a few things? Well, first of all, we are very happy that Atlantic Avenue West is going to have some realignment near the Delray Marketplace. It'll make traffic easier, and they're really on the road to expansion there, and that's really good. And you can see how we do get news, and Delray neighbors oppose tax office. We don't want to say too many bad things about our tax collector because we love her, and we've got the tax collector's office back there, and we've got the clerk of the court, Joe Abruzzo's back there, his office, and also and they have nice giveaways too, nice little post-it notepads and all, and the Palm Beach County Tax Collector's Office, she's got great little hurricane booklets to help you with the hurricanes. But we do have an issue with that tax office. And I live in the agricultural reserve. This doesn't impact me as much because I am way out next to the Everglades with the snakes and the alligators and everything. I am at 441 and Atlantic, so I am far away from this, but this, where this tax office is proposed, is Lyons Road, just north of Meisner Country Club, and our Boca, besides Boca bridges, we've got our bridges, we've got 7 bridges there, and Meisner Country Club. They're very upset about this, and what the Alliance has done is really, we do not understand why there needs to even be a new one, or a larger tax collector's office, because we came up with the data, and the data just shows it, that in 2019, the number served by appointment in person was 125,000. You come to 2023, 88,000. It's come down. This is at the Congress tax collector's office. And online transactions, believe it or not, in 2019, 2020, 448,000. In 2023, 986,000. More people are doing things online. That's why we just do not understand, and there's not a whole lot of information that comes out of the tax collector's office explaining why this is needed. And has anybody gone to a Publix and noticed the kiosk where you can get your tags for your cars? Once this is a new thing for the tax collector's office. You can actually go to Publix and get your tags for your cars. There are several Publixes and they're listed online. One is at the Reserve, right near the Agriculture Reserve, the Publix at the Reserve. So once these start happening with this AI, people don't even have to go on their computer. They can stop at Publix and get their tags. It just doesn't make any sense to us. We don't know, so we really have to get more information on this. And we've contacted our district commissioner as well to support us in just asking these questions and trying to get more information and more outspeaking from the tax collector's office, more transparency. Okay, so we have today, let's go to more positive things. Well, actually this isn't real positive, right? Because sometimes there's a lot of issues in associations when it comes to retrofitting pickleball and using tennis courts for pickleball courts and all. I've been getting so many phone calls about this over the past year that we are bringing our wonderful attorney, Joshua Gersten, here to discuss this. Joshua Gersten, Esquire, right, of Gersten Associates. Yes. Attended Rutgers, my alma mater, and Cardozo School of Law, Yeshiva University. He is board certified in condo and land development law, association law. Here we have Joshua Gersten.
Thank you, everybody. It's so nice to see everybody. Happy New Year. Wishing you a happy, healthy, and successful New Year. And wishing myself for the computer to come on up and get us started. Okay, good. Working so far. All right, here we go. Pickleball or pickle brawl? Okay, so there are a lot of things for directors to consider when deciding to implement pickleball on green space or to retrofit existing tennis courts or bocce courts, or retrofit really any amenities. And there are these list of things that need to be done, in my opinion, before letting members know about your possible ideas. And the reason for that is rumors. If you, as a board, go in front of your members and say, we are contemplating, putting in pickleball, you start interviewing members, everything has to be out in the open because you're a committee meeting, a board meeting. This type of planning can take 6 months to a year, and every single time you meet, there's more rumors generated, negative comments, and things start to spread that end up endangering the success of your project. So the first thing that I recommend associations do is form a committee. Form a committee that does not have a quorum of the board on it, so that the committee can do everything that needs to be done to figure out, is it practical, is it feasible to have pickleball here without getting member involvement at that point. Because remember, if it's not practical or feasible, or it just can't be done, then the committee dissolves, and that's really the end of it. You don't have this sort of rancor amongst the members saying, oh, they were going to do this, they weren't going to do this. Form a committee that doesn't have a quorum of the board. A quorum of the board is a majority of the board. So if you have 7 board members, your committee can still have 3 board members on it. All right? So what are the issues that come up with pickleball? They're environmental and space conditions, governing document and regulatory compliance, insurance and liability, accessibility, funding, and then finally, community division. So, environmental space and conditions. Environmental and space conditions. If you have a big green space, or if even you have a tennis court, putting pickleball there might not actually be a good idea depending on the surroundings. Unlike tennis, pickleball, as you know, has a distinct sort of dink or pinging sound. And in some South Florida communities, lawsuits have been filed by owners that live near pickleball courts that were installed by their associations, complaining about the noise. In fact, if a pickleball court is existing and a new owner moves in, and the noise is disrupting that new owner, even though that new owner bought in when the pickleball was already there, that owner would have a valid cause of action for a noise complaint. Therefore, you have to take the surrounding areas seriously, and I strongly recommend that you have professional testing. There are professional testing services that can come out and tell you the decibels and exactly the impact it will have on the surrounding homes, both inside and outside. After you get through with the space and the noise, there is also governing document and regulatory compliance. So for condominium associations, most people know about the material alteration. That would apply here. If you're going to put in a new pickleball court in a condominium association or retrofit a pickleball court in a condo, you need to have owner approval. If it doesn't tell you in your documents what that threshold is, the threshold by law is 75% of the owners. Okay? So keep that in mind. If you don't have that committee and the owners are hearing information about this drip, drip, drip over the year, and then you need 75% of them to vote on it, you will be behind the 8 ball. So you have that committee, you're doing the research, you confirm with your governing documents, we do need 75%. Homeowner associations. Most homeowner associations do not have a material alteration requirement. However, you need to look at your governing documents to see what else the developer promised. For example, in your governing documents, does it say this association is going to have 8 professional tennis courts? If it does, guess what? You have to have 8 professional tennis courts. Or amend your governing documents with most likely 75% of the owners approving. Okay, so Find out if there's a hurdle. There's a hurdle plan for it. This is all part of the community's work. And of course, the municipality or the county is going to have requirements, and your contractor should be dealing with that along with your attorney. There might be permit requirements and construction requirements that go along with it. Insurance and liability. Insurance and liability. People get hurt in the oddest ways, and with pickleball even more so. General liability insurance, premises liability insurance makes sure to cover not only the pickleball courts, but the surrounding areas. And spectator liability. So what happens if somebody's standing too close to a pickleball court, a racket flies out of somebody's hand, boom, spectator liability. Most insurance policies do not cover it. Okay, so make sure you check with your insurance company, spectator liability. Participant waivers. All participants in pickleball should have waivers on file. That doesn't guarantee the association won't be sued, but it's also very important as far as making the case that the association had a duty to warn and actually met that duty. You should also have a sign, like you see at swimming pools. Swim at your own risk. Play at your own risk. Participant waivers should be organized by a property manager as sort of a general association thing, so you don't miss anybody coming and going. This should also go for guests of owners that are playing. Minors. Most of the associations here are 55 plus. However, if the grandchildren are in, they'll want to play. They also should have waivers signed by their adult parents. Special event or tournaments, special event insurance or tournaments. Umbrella insurance, very important to have as well. That will cover the association for everything else that all these other insurances did not cover. And of course, we have the property coverage. I have had some associations that have gotten some fantastic pickleball courts only to have them vandalized and realize they didn't add them to their policy. If you have a new, nice, shiny asset like a pickleball court with new tents and a scoreboard, make sure that you add that to the association's property coverage. Okay, there's also something important that has to do with insurance, but is largely a responsibility of the association, and that is risk management. So, court maintenance. Court maintenance is absolutely crucial for associations to understand. And you have to be wary when picking the type of court that you want to use. You want a durable court with as little maintenance and as little slip as possible. Okay, so I've seen where people have used hard true courts for pickleball courts. And yes, the ball does bounce well, it gets a little whatever, but it's decent. But they're a little bit tough on the ankles, and it seems like more people fall with hard true courts than they would have the standard pickleball court. The bottom line is the pickleball court has to be maintained. So if you have a nick in the pickleball court and somebody's foot gets caught in it and they fall, the association's gonna get sued. Same thing with nets, strings in the nets. Every possible area of the court that could be a trip hazard needs to be maintained and watched so that it doesn't occur. Safety guidelines, you should post safety visible guidelines along with the play at your own risk. You just have a list of guidelines so that the association has met its duty to warn. Also, lighting and security. Are you going to have a nighttime pickleball court? If so, you need lights. If you're not going to have a nighttime pickleball court, you should lock the courts at night. Okay? You'd be surprised how many times people will go out there, start playing at 7:30 at night, and at 8:30 they're still playing. It's pitch black. They realize it, but they don't, and they get hurt. So lock the pickleball courts if you do not have lighting. I do have some associations that have timers where an owner can actually go in and turn on the light. Now that is only good though if there's nobody else around, there's no surrounding areas, and the lights don't bother them. Just like the gentleman said from the fire department, and I was relieved that I had this in my presentation, make sure you have your defibrillators nearby. You should be near a pickleball court, any area where people congregate, and most pickleball courts obviously are outside, so you have signs saying this is the way to the defibrillator, this is where it is. And people in all associations, not just directors and officers, should make themselves wary of where those locations are and how to use that equipment. It's seemingly pretty easy to use and life-saving. Okay, accessibility. Because you are a community association, you have to follow ADA guidelines. Now, I haven't seen many instances of people who are disabled or handicapped actually playing pickleball, but that's regardless. They have to have the ability to be able to play pickleball, watch pickleball if they wanted to. So when you're building your pickleball courts, I do recommend a consultation with a ADA engineer or an ADA inspector. They'll help you map out pathways to the courts, court entrances, the surface, and primarily also accessible seating. Okay? If you have a pickleball court and it's not accessible to somebody who's disabled or in a wheelchair, you could be subject to an ADA lawsuit. Funding. Now this is the money part. So now remember, the committee is going through all these things. You know, can they pass it by 75%? Do they need 75%? You know, the liability, they're doing, okay, so for now, according to this committee's information, the project is still practical and feasible. We move on to the money. Associations are not like normal businesses, as you know, so money does not come in from more sales or selling more services. They come in from assessments or loans. Those assessments can be general or special. Your community association, like many others, might have a limit on capital expenditures. So if you retrofit a pickleball court from a tennis court, or if you install a new pickleball court, I can save your attorney the time and tell you it is a capital improvement. It is a capital expenditure. That word might be in your governing documents and telling you that, yes, the association can levy a special assessment for operating expenses, but for capital expenses, member approval is required. So you need to see is member approval required for a special assessment. Same thing with borrowing. Some community associations are limited on the amounts that they can borrow for capital expenditures or really otherwise. You need to check your governing documents before you even reach out to a bank to see what that threshold might be. Same holds true for special assessments. Boards might be able to levy a special assessment, but not about, this limit here has nothing to do with the amount, it's just that it's about a capital expenditure. A lot of documents say you can levy special assessments without a limit, but for any amount for a capital expenditure, you need member approval. So again, check your governing documents before going forward and map out what approvals are required. Okay, this is the last one, and I saved this for last because people don't like change. Community division. So by now, hopefully this committee has those 5 or 6 items that we just went over, and they said this project is feasible. But most importantly, what this community has is a ton of information. The community has all the information regarding the voting, all the information regarding insurance, all the information regarding funding, all the information regarding assessments. There is no question that this committee is unable to answer regarding these basics. Now they are ready to go forward. So what do I recommend? I don't recommend that the committee come and say, hey, board, here it is, and then the board just decide. I think before going to the board, the committee should try to get other members involved and sort of get the excitement going. And you do that with surveys and feedback. Do straw surveys. See what other people are thinking. They might come up with good ideas that the committee can add on to the board. So the last stop for the committee is community involvement. Demonstration days. You'd be really surprised. I was surprised when I saw this, but I saw it with my own eyes. There are a lot of people who want to do pickleball and really seem like they might be into pickleball, but are just embarrassed. They don't know how to do it, they don't know much about the game, and all their neighbors and everyone else is already very far ahead of them. So demonstration days, believe it or not, will bring out a lot of people and get more people excited about pickleball. Shared court usage. if you are having a fight between tennis and pickleball players, consider an idea of shared court usage. And the way that you do that is put the pickleball court lines on the tennis court, temporary. Put the pickleball net on the tennis court and show them, look, we'll play pickleball here, then, during 9 to 12, and then the tennis players can sweat from 12 to 4, we'll move everything off, you won't even be able to notice it. So demonstrating to them shared court usage is something that will go a very long way. And the same thing with temporary setups. You can have temporary setup days where you could have Monday and Wednesday as tennis, and Tuesday and Thursdays as pickleball days. It's totally feasible, and it's a great way to sort of mend that community division. All right, so I appreciate all your time. I know I gave you a lot of information there, but I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have. I saw a gentleman right there raising his hand first. Yes?
What's a good reference for spectator room on the side of the pickleball court? Is there a national association or something that we can use?
There are guidelines such as that, such as if you wanted to have a professional pickleball court and be able to hold tournaments, there are, but your association most likely, and I don't even know, I can't even see where you're from, it doesn't have that room. So this would more or less be a code thing.
No, it's just for casual use, for resident use, but the fight going on now is we want seats on the sideline, and the board thinks it's too close to the court, and it could cause a hazard. So I'm wondering, is there any guidelines anywhere on the internet?
Any guidelines?
No, there are no specific setbacks to say, hey, you need to be this far back. But I can tell you, if the board thinks it's too close, most likely it is. Yeah, you're right. If you can sit outside the fence, that's
what they're doing.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to do it. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
Would this also apply the process to wanting to do bocce courts?
Yeah, that's a great question. Would this process also apply if you wanted to do bocce courts? And the answer is absolutely. Any sort of big material alteration of a recreational amenity. I didn't want to use that title because it wasn't as good as pickleball, but yes. Okay.
Well, that's great. Are there any other questions?
I see a
Okay.
question over there. Yes, sir.
What's the best way to limit an owner from inviting many guests over to play, whether they're there or not there?
Sure, so that is part of the presentation, that is making rules, right? So you can tell people they can have guests or they can have guests. You can tell people that they cannot have a pickleball pro come and give them lessons there, or you can have a pickleball pro come and give them lessons there. And you can limit access via the use of cars. There are going to be people that try to violate this, sneak a guest in, whatever. Those people, you should set up a system where they would be suspended from use. It's a common area element, so if people violate the rules, you suspend their use.
Hey, we have a question over here.
Sure.
What about refurbishing an existing pickleball court that is really not usable at this time? We don't have any of the things that you mentioned, I'm sure.
Oh, well, if you're going to refurbish a court, meaning one was existing prior, I would start here with the funding. I would start with the section funding and then keep going that way. So that those are the things that you need to do. You wouldn't really have to worry about member approval of the pickleball courts there. You just need to know do the members have to approve whatever it costs to fund and make sure you have the proper insurance.
Okay, if a resident brings some guests, are the guests allowed to pay for it, or are they just free, or how can...
That would be up to you. That would be up to the association. The association should make rules that say whether or not they want to have guests and the consequences for violating that. Yes.
Okay, Josh, how successful has it been to take a tennis court in certain hours or certain days to retrofit it so pickleball could be played on that surface? Because I was told yesterday, different surfaces, so it doesn't work.
It depends on what the underlying tennis court surface is. I'm not a fan of doing it with a Hartrue. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, but I have seen it done, and it is going to depend on whether or not the people you're dealing with are purists, right? If the shoes are typically the same, right? The soles of the tennis shoe and the soles of the pickleball shoe are typically the same. So the surface is really going to depend on play. And if you have a bunch of purists that say, I don't want to play on that, then that's what they're going to complain about. But as far as actual use, amateur play, I haven't seen many problems. The only problems I've seen again is with hard true courts, and that's actually, you know, something the Boca Resort and Club did a study on it. They had hard true courts that they used from their tennis courts for pickleball. They were able to do it, but the purists didn't like it, and the ball went all over the place. So the answer is, you can do it. Safety-wise, it's the same as far as the sole, the shoes are concerned. It's just going to matter down to taste, basically.
Okay, we have a question over here.
Do you have any idea how expensive the umbrella insurance is?
Umbrella insurance actually is not as expensive as you would think. Regular insurances and all the types of insurance to get up to umbrella insurance is extremely crazy expensive, but umbrella insurance basically only covers you for what all those really don't, so it's actually not that expensive at all. Because it's barely ever enacted. Umbrella insurance is for when times really went bad, like a law school essay bad type thing.
Can you send a copy of this to Lori?
Oh yeah, so what I'll do is I'll post the presentation on my website. Lori also has a copy. I'll post it up there. It'll be on there no later than later this afternoon.
Okay, great.
One more, last one. Okay.
Last question.
I just wanted to know if you yourself play pickleball.
I do. I do play pickleball. I love play pickleball. And believe it or not, 10 years ago I started playing with my wife on our driveway. And I was like, honey, look at this game. We bought like a $60 net and we played on it because we have a long driveway. So ever since then, yeah, I do. I absolutely love pickleball. So I'm not a hater here, lover here, yes.
There's a website, Pickleball Anytime, and it's a kit, and you can buy the lines pre-measured. You tape it down on any surface, and all you got to do is buy a net.
That's what I did for my driveway, actually.
Pickleball Anytime.
Okay, so thank you everybody. And again, happy, healthy, and successful New Year. You've been great. Thank you.
Thank you, you're always full of information. There was so many more things in that than I would ever expect about pickleball. Oh, great. Oh, you know what? And this is a great segue into, before we have our next presentation, we have our commissioner, Maria Sachs here, who I'm sure would like to give us an update on something. Nice to see you, Commissioner Sachs. Great. Thank you for coming. Catch your breath.
Is it cold enough? I don't know about you, but I want to move to Florida. Folks, so happy to see you. Happy New Year to everybody. I have two questions for you, and then I'm going to move on. One question is, do we have an issue with traffic?
Oh, of course not.
That's crazy, right? And you know, at this time of year, we feel the cold. But imagine being in New York, Washington, Boston, New Jersey. It's really cold up there. Really cold. So everybody comes here, and our traffic, you notice how traffic gets worse in the winter. I sometimes like the summer times here because nobody's here except us. Get right in the Publix, you know, the real hardy folks are here for the summer. But in the winter, we have all these people coming in, we have a lot of traffic. I'd like to have a traffic summit again here in March. And I'm going to work through President Vinegar and your executive board. We're going to bring in people from Tallahassee, which is the Florida Department of Transportation. We're going to learn about what they're going to be doing with Atlantic Avenue, with Lyons Road, with all our big highways here, the widening of the Turnpike, Smithsonian, all these roads. And does that sound okay to you? March is a good time to do it? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it in March. We're going to have a traffic summit.
And that'll go along with our March meeting, which will be all about security from our PBSO. So that'll go nicely along with that.
And then the second thing I wanted to ask you about is, and this is really not public knowledge yet, I wanted to announce it here. There's a possibility of building a sportsplex. Now, I don't know what is that, you know, people say, what is that? What is sports? It is a large area dedicated to sports. Indoor pickleball, indoor basketball, indoor everything. It's good for the grandkids, it's good for us. It's good for us. Now, when I was a kid, I played outdoors all the time. just to get out of the house mostly. But today the kids want to play inside, air conditioned. And in a sense, I don't blame them. I like to be indoors too. So we're thinking of building it in the Alliance jurisdiction. Somewhere here. It's going to be big. It's going to be the largest in the county. And I want to have it in my district. There'll be a dog park. There'll be a little entertainment. And it'll be here. You don't have to go look at the South County Park. The Bert Aronson Park is nice. There's no, we're working on shade. And it's far away. I want to have it right here in our area in West Delray. Do you think, and tell me, do you think this is a good idea? Yeah. Okay, then I'm going to move forward on it. Before anything happens, before the shovel hits the ground, your board will know about it and you will know about it and we'll decide on where. I just want it close by and I want you to tell me what kind of sports activities you want. Somebody wants bocce, somebody wants, there's a new game, what is it, paddle or something? Paddleball, right. I never played tennis, so I guess now I'm going to learn some new game. But I want it for us. I want it for us. So in order for me to do it for us, I got to hear from you. And each and every one of you represents hundreds of people in your communities. So this is something, I'll give you enough time to reach out to the folks in your community, find out what they want. Find out what they want. So, but I think it's about time that we got out and had a little exercise and some fun. And even a community center there as well. So with that, the thing about the Prevent the Falls, I just want to give credit to our Congresswoman Lois Frankel. They did a study in the United States Congress, and they found out that the area in the state of Florida that had the most falls, right here. Right here. But let me remind you that when COVID hit, the governor found out that the area in the state of Florida that had the most need for seniors was right here. We had the first shots, vaccinations, was at Kings Point. In the state of Florida was Kings Point. So we continue to pull down this money and this attention that we need. So these falls, this prevention of the falls, which is right here. I spoke to Lois Frankel. She got $1 million, was paid to the healthcare district, and they're the ones who's running it. If you want this in your community, now listen up. If you want this in your community, let me know. Let Dr. Vinegar know. She'll tell me, well, I'm putting it into Kings Point, so you don't have to travel all the way out here at that hour in the morning. If you want it in your community, let me know. Let Dr. Vinegar know, and I'll get the healthcare district to bring it over to you.
We have the healthcare district here today, and they're going to be giving us a demonstration of the Tai Chi Kwan, and they have handouts there, and I have the.
Excellent.
They'll be speaking right after our Pinecrest.
They're wonderful. I never knew you could do all this sort of stuff, but it does help. And they've got a little good tips, how to get out of the shower, how you get, all these things that are very, very important. So thank you very much to the Healthcare District, to Congresswoman Lois Frankel, and especially to your executive board and Dr. Vinegar. All right, everybody, Happy New Year.
Thank you. Thank you so much for attending. Great to see you, and thank you for all the work you do. Yes, and congratulations on your re-election too, another 4 years. Right? Okay, great. We have home safety to prevent falls right now. From Pinecrest, we've got Kristen Polyak, Michelle Hutchinson, and our speaker today, Lauren Delarciprete. And she's going to be speaking about home safety to prevent falls. And right after this, we're going to have a demonstration of the Tai Chi Kwan, which will be available to everybody. Here you go.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lauren, and I'm going to talk to you about home safety and preventing falls. I'm from Pinecrest Rehab, and I am an occupational therapist. And I know you're looking at me like, how is a 20-some-year-old going to talk to me about falls, right? I promise you. I moved to Florida 5 years ago, and I moved in with my grandparents, who were 88 and 85 at the time. And I was their in-house OT. I really took care of them, modifying the home. So I speak on this from my heart, and I want to keep it very close to heart and help take care of you guys so that way you can stay in your homes, live and age beautifully, and enjoy your life, right? That's what we all want. Yeah? Okay, so let's get into it. If my computer will work. All right, guys, so the purpose of this presentation, we just want to increase your awareness of the incidence of falls and where falls are occurring. So as the commissioner mentioned, Florida and this area of Delray is one of the highest areas for falls. And we notice that the area in which falls are occurring are 78% at the home, whether that's in the home or in the surrounding areas outside of the home. That is what we are noticing and learning. So, falls among older adults. Every year, 1 in 3 adults ages 65 and older have a fall. And this could be a fall from a seated position, a fall from standing, a fall in the shower. It could look like a lot of things. Falls can cause moderate to severe injuries. So we've seen this while working at Pinecrest. It can be as simple as a hip fracture, but a fall can also be much more severe as a head injury. And as we are aging and getting older, the severity and the way in which it impacts our lives can be much more difficult. Falls are a public health problem, which is largely preventable, and that's what we want to talk about. So how big is this problem? Out of the adults ages 65 and older who fall each year, less than half talk to their healthcare providers about it. It's not a fun topic to talk about. You never want to tell your health provider that you had a fall because you're worried that they might decrease your independence or tell you that you can't do things that you don't want to do. I get it. However, if you do start to have those conversations of, I felt like I was losing a little bit of my balance, or I'm having more issues I notice around the house moving, those are conversations that they can start to offer you different opportunities or different options, such as doing an outpatient physical therapy or having different things to look at, doing a balance screening and that kind of thing. Okay? Falls are the leading cause of death of adults ages 65 and older because of all of the other things that develop from a fall or can develop from a fall. 20 to 30% of adults who fall suffer moderate to severe injuries. And then the one thing that's not as commonly talked about is the development of fear of falling. As adults get a little bit older, maybe they have a loss of balance or they have a close moment to a fall, and almost. And then they now get nervous, and so they have a fear of falling, and they kind of guard themselves from their movements. It can be a blessing, but it can also be a curse, because if you have this fear of falling, you're almost more rigid in your movements, and then you can actually prevent yourself from moving as fluidly, causing your balance to cause a fall. Okay? So, CDC recommendations for fall prevention. One of the #1 things, we want you to keep moving. Exercising regularly is definitely extremely important. You want to ask the doctor or pharmacist to review your medications that may make you dizzy or drowsy. You're taking sometimes a lot of different medications that might have different side effects or interactions within each other that could cause you to be at risk of losing your balance and that kind of thing. So it is definitely important. The other thing too is keep in mind, and I've learned this from working at the hospital, sometimes you guys have cardiologist, and then you have your primary doctor, and then you have a different specialty, right? It is important, and I highly advise or suggest that, when you have a prescription provided to you or prescribed to you, that you take that prescription and you make sure that the primary doctor knows of everything. So if the cardiologist is prescribing you one thing, you're communicating that to the primary doctor so that he's in the loop and he knows everything that you're taking. It's just beneficial for you. I don't know about you, but I don't know every single medication and what it does. So if there's something that is overlapping or interlining, it's in your best interest to kind of know what that could look like, okay? Another thing, have your eyes checked at least once a year. and make your home safer. So let's get into that. This is the fun part. So like I mentioned, the falls take place, 78% of those falls are happening in the home, in the front yard or backyard. One thing I can think about is if you're walking to go get your mail and you're walking down to go to your mailbox and your driveway is just a little bit slippery because here in Florida we have the beautiful sunshine showers, and you slip and fall, it's a little bit difficult to get a phone or that kind of thing while you're outside. So just kind of keep those in mind. Those are the areas in which we're referring to when we say around the home. We're talking about right directly in front of it. So risks in the home that we can eliminate to make it safer. I don't know about you, but the before picture kind of stresses me out. So the things that we can do to make it a little bit safer. We want to eliminate the clutter for sure, so that you're reducing the things that you're stepping over, potentially bumping into, that kind of thing. The other thing that's super important is some bright lighting. And I'll talk a little bit about that in a second. Uneven surfaces. I think this is one thing that I love about Pinecrest, is that while in Pinecrest, if you ever were to come, all of the surfaces in most hospitals, everything is beautifully uneven, but the reality of that is not the case. So when you are walking in Publix or when you are walking in a parking lot, your pickleball courts, around in your neighborhood, you are going to have uneven surfaces, and so it is in your best interest to be very mindful of that. Another thing that is a risk is stairways without railings, bathtubs and showers without grab bars, throw-up rugs. I could do a whole presentation on why throw rugs are not of your benefit. Loose carpet, wet floors, and furniture. But let's go room by room. So, common home modifications, and I'm sure some of this is probably not new news, so I apologize if I'm talking some things that you've probably already heard. But installing handrails on both sides of stairways, very helpful for you. You have two options to hold on to. The more you're holding on to, the sturdier you are. Mark first and last step with tape or paint. You can get this tape or paint at Walmart. You can get it off of Amazon. It can be delivered right to you. It is yellow and black, or you don't have to make it so obnoxious. It can be any color, but with a lot of us living in Florida, we are all about how things look so aesthetically pleasing and nice and beautiful, but gray sidewalks with gray steps are visual. It's not of high contrast, so sometimes we might miss a step, causing us to be at potential for a fall. Using non-skid strips in the shower or bathtub, it just kind of keeps your texture underneath your feet, so that way you have a better grip. And then installing grab bars in the tub, shower, or next to the toilet. Your drying rack for your towel is not considered a grab bar, okay? It is not that's purpose. However, there are handymans that we have contacted or been in contact with that actually now, for those that do really want their home to not look like a hospital facility and look very, pleasing to the eye, I get it. They now do make grab bars that are they look like a drying rack, or they're different colors. They're not so hospital based. They're not that silver titanium look. Okay, so you do have options. The other thing too is if you have those suction grab bars in the shower, I just like to say this, they don't work. They don't work. But if you read the very, very small fine print, they are about supportive of 20 pounds. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't weigh 20 pounds, and I guarantee a small dog probably doesn't even weigh 20 pounds. And the argument was the one time, well, what if I put 2? That's still 40 pounds, okay? All right, so those are just options. Another thing is installing an elevated seat on your toilet or raised commode. Again, I get it. You can get these at Amazon, you can get these at Walmart. They can be put right over. They don't even have to attach to your toilet. So there are great options there as well. And then increasing the clearance through your doorways if you're using a walker or wheelchair by reframing the doorways or replacing hinges. So this can look like an array of things, but you can get the swinging hinges that allow you to have just more space to open your door if you are using a device such as a walker or a cane and that kind of thing. Okay, So we're gonna go room for room, but I'm just letting you know that this link up here, and we'll make sure this is shared, but we do have it as well. This is a checklist for safety brochure through the CDC. It is also located on the CDC's website for the different home modification and options that you have in the home. Okay, so this is a beautiful living room. There's no throw rugs. There's no clutter. You want to also think about positioning your phone. So if your friends are calling to plan your next Mahjong meeting, you don't want your phone hidden all across from the side of the couch where you don't sit. So you want to make sure that your phone is somewhere located so that you don't have to climb across furniture to get to it. If you are to have throw rugs, and I get both sides of it, there are things in which I really advise you to use that are on Amazon. You can also get them at Walmart or Target, and they're triangular, and they stick to each corner of your rug and then stick to the ground. The number one thing though is make sure, one, that they're secure, two, that if you have someone that is using a walker, there is a potential for them to get stuck under that. So that's why we really don't like throw rugs, but if you're going to have them, secure them to the ground. Okay, removing all cords and wires. Don't put another thing that you could potentially trip over. And then make sure lighting is adequate throughout the room. Talking about the bedroom, so install night lights. The one thing that I did for my grandparents is I had motion sensor lights. So I understand, you guys don't want to sleep with bright light. You've slept in the dark for so long. I get it, I hear you. But if you are to wake up in the middle of the night and you need to use the bathroom, this is our thing that we see with a high prevalence of falls. So I like to talk about it in this sense. You are sleeping, you're laying on your side, on your back. You sit up, you're changing your position. You're in a sense of urgency, so you're not allowing yourself time to recenter yourself and put your balance back where it needs to be. And then you stand up and you're trying to go for the bathroom. Your balance is going to be a little bit off. But now imagine you have your eyes closed while doing it, basically because you're in pitch black and you can't see where you're going. So we often see that falls are occurring when we're going to the bathroom at night. So that's why we really suggest having some lighting to guide you to the bathroom, or lighting in the room that's motion censored. Okay? Make sure comforters and or blankets are not hanging on the floor, which can also be a tripping hazard. Kitchen. So place your frequently used items within arm's reach, so you're not going up on your toes. Please don't try to climb on a chair or a stool. The higher you climb, the higher you fall from, potentially, and we don't want that. If you are going to have a stool, make sure it's a steady stool that has a handrail or you're able to hold it. It's not wobbly, it's not one that you used 25 years ago and haven't seen it and maybe grabbed it out of the garage, right? I'm only saying these things from personal experience, I promise. Don't take shortcuts. Please don't use a chair, and try and keep those floors dry. If you do spill, you're cooking or whatever the case might be, make sure you kind of clean it up before you try to get something up higher, or you're just mindful. I know a lot of our floors are those laminate or they're tile, especially in the kitchen, or they're a nice wood, and so oftentimes we can't always see where it's wet, but just make sure you're kind of cleaning up as you go so that you're not putting yourself at risk. The bathroom. Okay, so this is what I was saying too with walking to the bathroom at night. So making sure that it's well lit, and then you have options. So we have a shower chair or a tub bench. These are the new, they look very fancy and nice bathroom options as far as the handrails and that kind of thing. So you do, like I said, you do have options. If you install grab bars, it is, there are different ways that you can have them. They can go vertically and they can go horizontally. There are some at an angle. Make sure you're kind of talking, if you are interested in doing that you talk with an OT or your primary or that kind of thing, and we can kind of discuss what would be best for you. If you have shoulder issues, it might not be within your best interest to have a straight vertical grab bar, those kinds of things, okay? Also a raised toilet. So as you get older, right, going low to those low toilets is not easy. So if you haven't already gotten an elevated toilet, you can do that, or there's ways that you can just do a safety frame that goes directly over the toilet. You don't have to get anything additional. Stairs or steps. Most of us probably have a first floor house, so you're not so worried, but we also think about that step into the home, and some of us it's one step from the garage into the house. You're laughing because I'm right? So make sure that you have those well lit as well, and also with tape to make sure that you see them different from the garage floor. Also make sure that they're not cracked. There's some that from the heat, whatever the case might be on the outside, that they could be, and so that's another thing that you can do to prevent the risk of falls. Same thing with the entrance to the home. Okay, this is a pretty picture and it's really small, so don't worry about it, but this is on the CDC, and this kind of gives, an overall synopsis of the things that you can do in the home. Those are my references, and then I'll leave it to you guys. Anyone have any questions for me?
This was terrific.
Why, thank you.
Thank you so much. You're great.
Thanks, guys.
We got one question.
See? Oh, sure. Let me go back to it. So it's www.cdc.gov. And then I would say /steady. On there, once you get to that page, it'll have all the different links and tabs and things to get to the fall prevention.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh,
it's great. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you feel yourself falling, should you just try and let go?
Yeah, okay, great question. So if you do feel like you're falling, yes, in some sense, there's a thing that we call a foosh, fall out, outstretched hand. What we don't want is you to try to put your hands directly down, however we want you to catch yourself, and if that makes any sense. So if you're going to fall, slow yourself down by kind of reaching to grab or lowering yourself from a device, or from, like, let's say if you're on the wall or whatever the case might be, using your hands. If you fall, do not try to get yourself up if you feel like you are in pain. I highly, highly advise that. And you might not feel the pain right away, and that's okay. If you do fall, I do suggest, even if you feel like you're superhero and you don't feel any pain at all and can go play pickleball tomorrow, to just get checked out, get looked. And if you're feeling great, that's great, but rather no than not. Cool? Great. Thank you guys so much, and happy New Year. Stay safe, everyone.
Thank you. And you have the full, the balance screening over there.
Yes.
And you can, they'll be staying for a little while after that. You can check out your balance screen. And can we lift the screen up here, please? Thank you, this one screen, because we're going to have a demonstration now. Thank you so much to, yes, this is Pinecrest Rehabilitation Hospital, part of Delray Medical Center. They do a fantastic job with so many people. They want to go there after their hospitalization. It's always full. They do a great job. Now, a very interesting thing, we're having the healthcare district here. Thank you so much for coming here. We've got Ashley Arones from the healthcare district, and also we have Diane Lundstedt, who is a personal trainer, and they are going to be showing us Tai Chi Quan, moving for better balance. And this is part of what, you've got flyers there, part of what we can do actually here, and there's certain sites in the county. You can come up here, and you've got the whole area here for demonstration. You can take the whole area here, and you can speak if you like.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ashley, and I am a trauma agency specialist for the Healthcare District of Palm Beach County, and I am here with the amazing Diane, who is our lead instructor for the Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance program. So I'm just going to speak briefly over the Healthcare District's fall prevention program, and then Diane will do the demo of the Tai Chi Chuan Moving for Better Balance class. So, Healthcare District's fall prevention program is really fantastic, and all the credit of being able to expand this fall prevention class is due to the aid and support of Congresswoman Lois Frankel, who entrusted us with $1 million grant to help the initiative of fall prevention. In addition to that, we were able to develop a falls prevention app called Prevent Falls PBC, and you'll be able to see the QR code on the flyer that I handed out to each table. On that app, we have fall prevention resources in addition to class information, updates, and on-demand videos of the forms that we teach in class. I'm excited to announce that this week we expanded from 2 public locations into 7. So we're really excited about the difference that we'll be able to make in the county and hope to continue growing. If you are interested in the program, as Mayor Sachs said earlier today, contact her and we'll do our best to honor her request. But if you have any questions or comments, I did hand out my business card to some tables. If you didn't get a chance to grab one, I have some on the table as well if you'd like to contact me. I have the honor and privilege to oversee the falls prevention program and coordinate all aspects of it. So thank you for having me, and I'll have Diane take it away with this incredible demo.
Thank you, Ashley. Can everybody hear me okay? No. Can you hear me now? I got my Madonna microphone on. Can you hear me okay? No. Okay. Can I point it this way? Does that help? No. No?
You can't use this.
Well, I'm going to be moving. That's the thing.
You have to just try
Put the mic next to the speaker.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea. Here, let's see. How's that? Hello? Ooh. Hello? How's that? Can you hear me okay?
Good idea. You want to be on the board?
Hello, everybody. Falls are the #1 trauma call in Palm Beach County. The #1 trauma call from the fire department. My name is Diane Lundstedt. I am an authorized trainer for a program called Tai Chi Chuan, Movement for Better Balance. It was developed by Dr. Fuzan Lee at the Oregon Research Institute. It is an evidence-based program that has been proven to reduce falls by 57% in community-dwelling older adults and by 68% in people with Parkinson's disease. It has been extensively researched for over 20 years. All of his research is available on his website if anybody would like to look at that. If you're familiar with Tai Chi, what you see in the park normally is the Yang-style Tai Chi forms, what you see people doing in the park. Dr. Lee has taken 8 Yang-style forms with therapeutic applications to train fall prevention and balance recovery. It is the opposite of Tai Chi. In Tai Chi, you stay centered all the time. In this program, we take you to the edge. Your ankles are your #1 defense against falling. My brain is telling me right now that I am standing on solid ground, I'm stable, I'm ready to go. Your toes are your #2 defense against falling. We teach you balance strategies. If I start to go, if my toes are strong enough, my toes will catch me. The heart of this program is ankle sway exercises. We take you to the edge. We take you to your limits of stability to see how far you can go to make those postural adjustments to pull yourself back to center. Your third defense against falling are your hips. So we teach you these balance strategies. If you start to go, I'm on my toes, I can't go no further, I can go into hip flexion. When you're in hip flexion, your stomach muscles are tight, your lumbar spine muscles are tight, they're working together to hold you up. Your fourth defense against falling is to take a step. So we teach you those balance strategies in this program. It's a little scary. I'm going to give you a little bit of a demonstration. Each form starts with what we call a preload or a wind-up. So in Tai Chi, you use a ball. If I'm coming forward, I start myself in a unipedal position so the toe ball of the foot is on the floor. Here I'm more stable, here I'm less stable. Every form starts like this. You come forward to your toes. Hips and shoulders move together like a box as I come around. I bring the weight to the back of my heel. I come past midline and I have to catch myself. So we elicit that reactive step so that you're learning to catch yourself if you start to go. If I start to go here, I'm coming forward, I can step diagonal and I can step backwards. We teach you when you're going backwards, use the toe ball of the foot so that you can catch yourself, quick load, and you're nice and stable. I'm going to give you a little bit of demonstration if anybody, well, let me just say this first. All of the forms are geared toward activities of daily living. Every movement that you take is a weight shift. If you come forward to hug somebody, to shake their hand, you're doing a weight shift. So we teach you these balance strategies as you're shifting your weight to be able to catch yourself. Form number 1 is move a ball. It's a side step. It's just a weight shift. Every step you take, you shift your weight. Form number 2 is parting while horses mate. So as I wind up here, I'm catching myself diagonal. It's a reaching exercise. We want you to have a nice wide base of support before you go to reach for something. Form number 3 is single whip. Nice mobility exercise for your fingers. All those fingers are touching. You still have to catch yourself. Form number 4 is wave hands like clouds. So as I'm coming around, quick step here, quick turn of the head. Vision vestibular. So you're turning your head quick, you're moving all those crystals in your ears, helping with your vision and your vestibular. You're looking at your palm, unfocused gaze, looking at the scan. Scanning the room, looking at your palm. Form number 5 is a backward step. That's a toe ball, the foot catch. Form number 6 is brush knee. I'm stepping out diagonal. As I brush and push, I bring my head, I bring my shoulder, I bring my hip. Everything moves together, so as I come, I pick up my foot, I can drop it. If I need to turn in a crowd, I don't feel comfortable, just pick up that toe, pivot that toe out, just keep one foot on the ground and turn myself around. Dr. Joe is a geriatric specialist at the healthcare district. He says if it takes you more than 3 steps to turn yourself at 180 degrees, that maybe you should talk to your doctor. You might need physical therapy. So think about that. How many steps does it take you to turn yourself around? Form number 7 is a pushing and pulling. Form number 8 is a pushing and pulling exercise. So all of the forms are geared toward activities of daily living. Would you guys like to participate a little bit? If anybody would like to participate, if you can just stand up behind your chair. All of the forms can be done chair assisted, they can be done seated, or they can be done standing. So your ankle sway exercises, coming forward to the ball of the feet, coming, I'm sorry? Yeah, you're gonna help? Thank you. So, if you're just standing, we teach you to use all of your muscles. So, if you're standing tall, your toes, your ankles are your first defense against falling, your toes are your second. So as you're standing nice and tall as a little baby bending your knees, you want to come forward to the balls of the feet and come forward to your toes. The only equipment that you need is a stable armless chair. We teach you sit to stand exercises. As you know, in order to be able to be independent, you have to be able to get up and out of your chair. So as you can see, you're coming forward, working on my limits of stability, working on my sway envelope. How far can I go before I have to take that step? We teach you, if you start to go, quick plant step. You want to keep your heel on the ground. Behind you, it's a quick step. Use those arms as you're parting while horses mate. Somebody had talked about when you were in your kitchen that to turn, like with form number 6, we want you to turn everything together and then take that step if you have to. If you turn your upper body and everything comes, you can see how my legs cross, and that's how people fall. So you guys are in position, let's go. Here we go, toes, knees have a little bend in them. Everything moves together like a box, so come forward to the balls of the feet and come forward and sit on your toes, just holding on to your toes. It's a little scary. Now, make that postural adjustment. I know that I'm out of center. I need to bring myself back to center. Take yourself to your heels. Keep your toes on the ground and sit back on your heels. It's scary back there. It's a little scary. But in traditional Tai Chi, you use those anticipatory exercises, muscles that you can see as I come back here to my heels. My hips, whoa, my hips come into play, and then I take that step. So we teach you those balance strategies, where you need to be, coming forward to the center. We have many therapeutic movements. Stepping maneuver around a chair helps to get you around into a tight spot. We want you to use a little semi-tandem step where you're in a place where you don't feel comfortable not crossing your feet in front. It's a great program. It's been extensively studied. 8 forms. If you guys need it in your community, please come. Form number 2, if you guys hold the ball, a Tai Chi, and you're holding the ball, you come forward to your toes. As you wind up, everything comes together like a box along the edge of the foot to the back of the heel. When you come to the inside edge, I have to catch myself. We're eliciting that reactive step. Your muscles have memories. Your brain will remember it when you start to go. It's an evidence-based program that's proven to work. I'm a little nervous up here. I don't know why.
Oh, you're terrific. You really are terrific. Thank you so much.
Oh, well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions? Any questions?
Well, the whole thing is where we can do this and where can we come here to the...
Well, we have it at the community center, South County Community Center. There's, on your flyer, you have other places, but Commissioner Maria Sachs, she told you if you guys are interested in bringing this program to your community, please contact her. It works, you guys. It's an evidence-based program. It works. So please call us. Please let us know. We would like to help you. Number one trauma call in Palm Beach County is falls. Thank you guys for your time so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Oh, great. This has been a terrific program with you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of our speakers today. And we'll see everybody next month for a very exciting meeting in the February. It's going to be all about what are the two most important things we need here in life and in Palm Beach County. It's electricity and water. So we're going to have FP&L. They've been 100 years servicing us. 100 years. Do you know that FP&L started out delivering ice in Florida? That's what they did 100 years ago. So we're at FP&L here with 100 years, and our water utilities department will be discussing from the ground to your tap why our water is so clean and important to us, and we have the cleanest water in probably all of Florida. Have a terrific month. I have to go.